we doing, everybody? Welcome to the program. It's Boomer and Rhett Warner here on Thursday. It's Barn Burner. Good to have everybody along. Good to see you. Good to see you. How are we doing? No Ryan Pinder today. He is continuing to hang out with Duff Man down in California. Duff beer for me. Duff beer for you.
Do I look tired?
I'm concerned about you. What's going on?
I'm sleepy. Really sleepy. I
Are
should
ya?
be better. I had the sniffles. I should be better by now.
Are you getting enough sleep? Are you going to bed when you should? Are you getting up when you should?
I could have kept sleeping. I get up at 6:30,
Mm-hmm.
but I went to bed at just after 10, maybe 10:30. So I mean that should cover it.
What do you usually get? What's your sweet spot?
That's probably my sweet spot.
Right there, hey?
Yeah.
Who was it? Wasn't it Hyun-Jin Ryu or one of the Jays pitchers that needed his 14?
Yeah.
He didn't quite get his 14 hours a night, so he wasn't quite feeling it.
Listen, don't underestimate how important sleep is, but 14 seems heavy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, especially with you, I'm not gonna get into the sleep conversation because I know you very much believe in the value of sleep. 14's over. My math's not great. Over half the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Now, are you jealous?
Of you not feeling
not
good?
me, of Hyun-Jin.
No, it's too much. Too much.
You love to sleep.
I do, but on a regular basis.
You're not
right?
good. It's weird. You're good at it, but not good at it.
I was no good at it last night.
Uh-huh.
It's you know what it is, and not to even kind of joke about it. We do the BetterHelp read every day. I need some BetterHelp because I'll wake up no matter when in the middle of the night, and my brain will be like, "Oh, you're fucked. Oh, go back to sleep. Just don't do anything. Nothing's happening here. Look away." Like, puppies and rainbows. Don't think of it.
I thought of it. I'm screwed.
Thought about it.
Well, now I'm up.
Well, now what am I going to do? Guess I could
get that jolt of like adrenaline. It's almost like a fear thing. It's like
it's like a wave through like through your chest. Oh, geez. Okay. And then try and figure out why you're wound up.
I can get wound up a lot of stuff in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's really great.
Yeah.
Do you want some breaking news? I'm good. You know what? I'm going to give Jack the heads up. I just put a couple of things. One, you'll know which one to start with. But some breaking news. We don't have a breaking news splitter, but we do have breaking news. What do I have here for? Well, the thing is, I can't hear it. Of course, we've got the.
Oh my God.
We've got that. What is this one?
It's a kind of a sad.
Oh, well, then I definitely don't want to play that before.
Well, that's spacey, like.
Okay, so that can be Flames breaking news. They, of course, are flying today. They are off to Toronto to take on the Maple Leafs, center of the universe. Toronto, Ottawa, then Montreal. Couple days in between that Ottawa and Montreal game, I noticed. Where do you think they're spending those days?
At the Shea.
The Shea Paris?
Mm-hmm. Or
well, how would you attack that one at the old Shea Paris? Would it matter if you're coming off losses or wins, or
if you're losing, you have to do it because we gotta rally. We gotta come together as a group. And if you're winning, we gotta celebrate, boys. We're playing well. Let's go.
Yeah, that's right.
Always an angle.
I like it. Do you see it there, Jackie boy? It's probably hard. Here's the thing we do. Jack gets the show all ready, and then we throw a curveball, and then he's got to reorder.
I do see it now. I just I was making your Betway, so.
So you weren't even listening to me, son of a bitch.
I got it.
I get the Betway stuff in too late, and then he's making that. Make no mistake about it. It's my fault. Anyway, enough. Are you dying of anticipation?
Can you push the button again, because I think you need to.
All right. Okay, so some breaking news. The old barn burner. Take a look here, Rhett. Are you excited?
Shut the front door.
It is a tweet from the Calgary Flames official Twitter account. It's or X account. It says, "Awoo! The Flames have recalled Dustin Wolf from the AHL Wranglers." Look at Wolfie. So, what's going on? Do you think?
Someone hurt?
I don't know. It's a road trip. Maybe I mean you don't usually take an extra goalie on a road trip.
Negotiations being had with other teams for other goals?
I wonder if maybe there's maybe we've got the framework of a deal here. Can't be caught with our pants down. Better have an extra goalie in case.
I don't know. It seems
Huh?
It seems to send a clear signal that something's going on.
It feels like something's going on, yeah. Did you get that Markstrom deal done in Buffalo? Are you holding out?
I've been
on
working my ass off, people. Like, you wonder why
Yeah.
I'm sick and got the sniffles and tired. I'm staying. I getting 8 hours of sleep. I've been down at the rink trying to make things happen.
Yeah. And meanwhile, thank you, Justin. A boomer bomb. It's really not a boomer bomb. It can't be a boomer bomb when the news is 5 minutes old and has already been released by the team and everybody else has it.
Retweeted 800 times.
Yeah, boomers, rumors. Now, in addition to that, the Wranglers, they're not going to be shorthanded. They've made a corresponding move, I guess you could say. They've called up Connor Murphy from Rapid City of the East Coast League. So, is it an emergency type thing? These things can happen. You know, Rapid City is where? Manitoba? I don't even know. You can fly them into Calgary and back or whatever you need to do. But it does make your... it gives you some of these. The radar starts to go up. This is my radar. Ooh. That's my moose.
Is Rapid City in South Dakota?
Is that Sioux City? Rapid City? Yeah, you know what? Rapid City is somewhere in there. There is a Rapid City, Manitoba. It's just north of Brandon.
I'm not convinced that the Flames East Coast League team is in Manitoba. You're going to have to sell me.
Yeah. Not trying to convince you, but you know.
That is deep, though, the fact that the Wranglers also called someone up.
This is what I'm thinking, right?
Imminent. Or a bunch of bullshit.
Or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's I remember what...
Or we've made promises to Dustin Wolf and said we're going to get you some games. And
you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. There you go.
And I think the team's playing well. And if I bring Wolf in, what's it going to look like? Can I ride with this kid?
Mm-hmm.
Are we just as good with them as without? Can I make these moves? I got to know these facts. My name's Craig Conroy.
That's right.
I'm just dilly-dally about.
We'll get Conroy on the blower here and figure some shit out. So, yeah, Dustin Wolf called up by the team. Anything happens here during the old show, during the program, we'll have the breaking news for you.
See if he's on the plane is the big question.
But how much breaking news can you handle for one podcast? I don't want to get everybody off. I mean, you're jittery enough as it is.
Right, I can't sleep again. If you do it, there's more.
Today is what? Thursday? It was earlier this week. I think it was for Crown Royal. We gave a little salute for, or maybe it was Finning. That's what it was. It was for Finning Cat, our I Dig It segment. We had a clip, and we're going to play it here for you. It was this clip from late last week on one of our sister podcasts. And I said, you know what? Get out there, speak your mind, own it. And I dig it. Here was that clip from earlier this week.
Do that. He should be getting mauled by a team, and he should be getting accosted by the entire Maple Leafs roster. Instead, he's going by their bench, doing a bit of this. Look at them all. Look at their captain, looking at his feet. He's chirping off. They should be all standing on their feet, kicking the boards. They're all sitting there like there's a freaking delay of game or the kids are shoveling the ice or something. They should be chomping at the bit to kill that guy. Does this team give a shit about each other? Together, they're garbage. Until they start playing for each other and giving a shit about the jersey that they're wearing that goes back to World War I, because that's sickening, watching a guy snap his leg in half, and then the guy, the perpetrator, the dirtiest rat in the league that everyone hates to play against, come over and do whatever he said, whatever he's saying to the bench, and everyone just looks at their goddamn skates. I hate seeing that with a team I care about. It's embarrassing.
Everybody looking at their goddamn skates. Attaboy, Jay Rosehill. Jay Rosehill, our guest here on Barn Burner. I love it. Looking at their goddamn skates. They give a shit. I love it.
Getting to sound a little old manish there. Jeez, I haven't heard that in
You
replay,
goddamn kids, get off my lawn. You and your goddamn rap music.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, man. It's been too long. We did this whole friggin' thing last year. We didn't get you. I don't think we had you on once. So we appreciate you for coming on today. Leafs and Flames coming up tomorrow night. But I don't want to get too. We'll get into the hockey here. How's life? Because I think people that watch Leafs Morning Take, you're doing Leafs Morning Take. It's like, oh, here's Alberga's in Toronto and Rosehill's in Toronto. Except Rosehill isn't in Toronto. Where is home for you?
I'm just north of you boys. I'm in Olds, Alberta. So yeah, it's not hard with technology these days. You jump on these things and all of a sudden I find myself in the media world and we're breaking down some things. It's been fun, but nice to have you guys on board the Nation Network as well. And things are going good.
So how does it work? If you play for the Grizzlies or something, you don't get to leave? It's like some kind of a Stockholm syndrome. They don't ever let you out, or what's going on up there?
Oh, I don't know. The plan was always to come home. The people here are too good. My whole family's here, everyone I knew. And I did play for the Grizzlies. So I finished high school here. I played junior here. I'm not one of those guys that took off at 14 and don't really have a home base. So, it was always the plan to come back to Olds here and set up shop, raise a family. But when winter rolls around, sometimes I question my choices.
Well, hey, honest question. I played in Saskatoon where I grew up, and you saw guys come in. They had to get billets, uproot their lives, and a lot of them got lost, to be honest with you. Not everyone. You get a good billet family sometimes, and it works out great, but how big a benefit and how big a concern? I mean, you got kids that are growing up. Would you have comments or thoughts on that? Like you said, you got to stay home, and I think it was great. I've still got my friends that I went to elementary school with.
Yeah, big time. I mean, I was playing with people, and especially when you get to the tail end of your career and you got guys in the same boat, like what's the plan the next handful of years? And I mean, I knew guys that, say you go to play Notre Dame when you're 14 years old and you leave your home, and they don't have that core group of people. Like they decide, like, where do I go this summer to train? It's kind of, they're just floating. And, you talk to those guys at the end of their career and it's like, well, I married this girl and she's from Columbus and I don't know, her dad's friend might have a job, and you're just floating, man. You have no home base. And I was always like, no wonder guys get depressed when they retire and they don't have a clue what their identity is, because they don't have that. And I was lucky to have, a hometown where like I said, I played junior. I played with my brother here. All my friends are here. It's a great group of people. And, people are always moving back to Olds who grew up here. People leave for a little bit and they always make their way back, and just a good place to raise family. I like the people, and yeah, the weather's shit, but what are you going to do about that?
Well, Warner, you may or may not, he, American wife, we can go south of the border. Just pick a spot. Where are we going? Where are we going to go? Buffalo. So,
gorgeous.
Yeah, gorgeous stuff.
That's what you said, though. Good people. You got to go with good people.
That's good people. So
I don't know if I fit in Monaco.
That's right.
No, you're not really the yacht.
No.
Yeah, you're out there with your Lund fishing boat and your Minn Kota trolling motor.
When I started, I didn't fit in even when I was popular. So to be down there and nobody know you, it's even worse. So
I was down in Nashville a month or two ago, and the people in the South and the weather and the mentality, and everyone's getting along. There's no real division of anything. Oh man, that was tempting. That was one of the first times I started to think about my choices. But lots of good places down there. Lots of good places up here.
So Jay and Nick Alberga do Leafs Morning Take on the Nation Network, and a new podcast just started with Pinder, of all people. Yeah. You're going to regret this, I'm telling you, because once he sinks his friggin' fangs into you, he's a bugger to get rid of. The Department of Discipline. Have I got that right? That you're into episode 2 or 3 now, right?
Yeah, I think we've got 3, 4 in the can. We've been clipping along here. We're just getting the content rolling out. It's once a week, and yeah, it's under the Hockey Fights moniker. They've got a good following. We know who those people are. I'm one of them. Those people, you can't always go to the normal sources of information and media to get what you actually want, because it's so sugar coated and bleached down, and you're not getting the real story. You're getting the straddle the line story, and they can't say this and that. So we said, well, what the hell? Why don't we break down some cultural stuff, some controversial stuff, get into the thick of it, and say what we really think about things going on in the hockey world. So that's our aim, and that's what we've been doing so far, and it's been fun. I'm concerned about this Pinder guy. I don't know if it's going to work out with him. You guys pawned him off on me. You must be trying to get rid of him, but
no, it's not. No, not at all. No, nothing to see here. Just keep moving on. Just keep moving. Well, you know what? And the thing I like about, and I don't know about you guys, but when we started coming from radio, it was a little different because you like you say, you can't swear and you kind of got to toe the line. And then it was kind of, okay, well, the shackles are off. We can swear and say whatever we want. And then we kind of almost came back to where we were in the first place, where instead of saying the F word, we just end up saying F this or F that, that sort of thing. It just becomes, you find that comfortable spot, your landing spot where you're going to be anyway. But I think that the people that watch and listen have an appreciation, or I think maybe there's a belief that what they're hearing and seeing is more real than what they might be getting from mainstream media, where the opinions can be legit. And I think that Rhett's thing on the radio, why people liked him, was he was kind of a straight shooter, and now you could really be a straight shooter. So I think it's that genuine aspect of what it is that you guys do that can draw the crowd.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this day and age, everyone's tiptoeing so hard, and I don't know if they're trying not to get canceled or what, but those big companies and all their advertisers, I mean, they can't really be honest about things, and you're just getting the whitewashed version of it. And people are tired of that, especially hockey fans. So many people are cut from the same cloth. They talk about stuff on their own time, whether it's at the water cooler or, playing beer league or BSing with their friends. And there's stuff they talk about and you can't get any honest information about it. It's bullshit. So, me and Pinder decided to jump into it, say what we think, might ruffle some feathers or, piss some people off, but who really cares at the end of the day? They're people getting their feelings hurt is not the worst thing in the world. And I feel like we're not the only people who think that way.
Whitewashing. You're not whitewashing with the Leafs there. Do you see issues with that squad and their response to Marchand and how they're playing?
Oh yeah, there's issues, no question about it. I mean, it's no question they got the firepower. They got some big offensive pieces that are talented and flashy, and you can look at a highlight reel of them and it looks fantastic, but there's some pretty big holes on the back end. I mean, they're injured right now, so that certainly doesn't help. They got 3 guys they could certainly use that are watching right now, but just from a team mentality on, you look every year at what it takes to win in the playoffs and the big, tough defensemen and hard to play against. And then certainly, a team first mentality where players stand up for each other and care about each other and they're all on the same page. And this Maple Leafs team is having trouble finding it. I don't think it's a lost cause yet, but they certainly got to figure out their back end. I mean, last night, a game that they could win, and they just get picked apart in their D zone and end up getting smoked. So they got a ways to go for sure. Sky's not falling like people like to think it is every loss in Toronto, but they got some work to do.
What's interesting about kind of that the rant, if you want to call it that you went on, but you would have been a lot of fans frustrated, and I guarantee you at the top of the list somewhere at Scotiabank Arena would be Brad Treliving, because he, just knowing him from here, he values a little bit of stink in your game. That's why you go out and get Ryan Reeves, and there's a bit of that in Bertuzzi's game, and there's certainly some of that in Domi's game. Those guys were all brought in by him by design to have a similar type of a response. It drove fans crazy. I know it drove him crazy.
Yeah, for sure. It's a bad look. I mean, you name a team that wins Stanley Cups who aren't there for each other at the drop of a hat. It's like all their personal identities go away, and they're just this one melted thing of this team, and they just go through walls for each other. And that look there against Boston was just embarrassing. I mean, one of the cheaper players in the league, you can put together a highlight reel of him, straddling the line, crossing the line, doing little things to, maybe it's not that he's really good at doing things that aren't totally blatant, but are cheap shotting guys, potentially hurting guys. And he can openers Liljegren and snaps his leg on the boards. And then you'd think he would just be getting attacked by the whole roster. Like, you fuckery, we're coming now. We're coming now. And you're not going to get out of this game without some kind of a bell to answer. And instead, he's the one running his mouth to their bench, and they're all just kind of looking around like, I couldn't believe it. I'm sure Tree Living's blood was boiling. I would have been tossing garbage cans in that locker room after saying, you guys better go out and get shit-faced together, figure out something. Like, go do whatever you need to do to figure out who you guys are, because that's a joke of a team. You aren't going to win anything playing like that. And it's not all about going out and fighting and stuff like that, but give a rip about each other. And that was just so glaringly obvious that they're not there yet. It was tough not to fly off the handle about
Isn't it a little bit odd, though? You say not there yet. This isn't a team that is... They've been together for a while, the most of them, right? Like, you would think that they would be there, or at least partly there.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's frustrating, but it's a work in progress. And as you know, Rhett, like every year's a little bit different. You have different looks at it. Sure, the core pieces are the same, but like you mentioned, you bring in the Bertuzzi's and the Domies and the Revos, and you got a different look to it now. You'd think that, they'd start to have that identity, and it's tough to tear them apart right now and say it's a lost cause when it's a dozen games into the season, but it's definitely not the look they were going for when they made the changes they did in the offseason.
Are you surprised that Treliving stuck with Sheldon Keefe?
I mean, at the end of the season last year, I thought Keefe was going to go and Dubas was going to stay. It didn't work out that way. It depends what the options are. I mean, to change a coach just for changing a coach, it doesn't always work. You look at you guys in Calgary. I mean, people thought that was the problem, and now you just canned a recent Jack Adams Award winner. And for what? I mean, you're not doing any better. It's not always the answer, but I mean, he's the next thing to go if things don't change. I feel like the seat's getting a little warm underneath him, and a few more of these big eggs get laid, and he'll be the next to go, I think.
Yeah, it was. I thought, and last night he threw out the you guys like to celebrate. We like to celebrate guys that score goals. What we need to work on keeping the puck out of our net, whatever it is. However many home games in a row they've allowed 4 goals against. No matter how many goal scorers you have, that's not the way to win. It feels like it's a direct shot at his elite scorers, Matthews, Marner, those types of guys, and obviously it's by design. But it feels like. And on one hand, it's that media thing. Oh, nobody ever says anything. It's boring. Why don't you say something? And then when they say something, it's like, oh, you shouldn't have said that. Kind of. But I just wonder how many times, because he's done this a lot in the past, where it's either a direct shot or a veiled shot at some of the guys in his room. And you may not disagree, but I just wonder, that feels it's pretty clear who he's talking about. You don't want to alienate those guys either, though, right?
Yeah, and I didn't take it that way. I think the media twists it into, like you say, oh, you shouldn't have said that, even though they're begging for him to say something. I think it was more of, everyone's talking about, oh, Nylander's point streak here and these accolades and all this personal shit. And, oh, isn't this great? How talented are we? And he's going, look around. We're not going to outscore our problems. We're not going to win 7-6 in the playoffs. Like, you guys are talking about all these personal accolades and these offensive, feathers and guys' caps. Like, look around, we're not good enough. And I don't think it's a shot at those guys. That's what you pay them for. They put up points and go on streaks and go on heaters and do things that are great offensively. But I think he's just pointing to the fact that that's not getting it done. That's not enough. You guys are, the press and the media are jerking off to these different accolades, and he's going, that means nothing. Like, it's a feather in a one guy's cap. That's fine, but it doesn't mean anything. Marner went on a tear last year and set some records. What does that mean now? Absolutely nothing. So I think he's talking about the holes in their game defensively, a team defense first mentality, shoring up their own zone and actually winning some games, and stop talking about these things that don't matter.
Boom, jump in and help me out, just because I'm thinking about something.
Sure, buddy.
Trying to talk. Over the last couple of years, they add guys at the trade deadline. It was Foligno was one of them, right? Yeah. Last year, O'Reilly, heart and soul type of guys, right? Yeah. That you feel would be great fits in Toronto and that would want to be there, but they can't keep them. Now, is that because they were getting more money to go somewhere else and that alone? Or did they see those heart and soul guys see something in that room where they're like, this isn't exactly what it's supposed to be? Is there any chance that happened?
Yeah, and whether it's like a locker room thing or if it's a market thing. I mean, I remember playing there and guys from other teams around that trade deadline are calling, my buddies saying, like, what's it like there? Like, I'm getting this offer and there's this murmur about that. And my agent's talking about Toronto. And sometimes guys are like, don't come here, man. Like, it's nuts. Like, they'll pick you apart. Like, stay where you are or take this option, because like guys want, if you win a cup in Toronto, like you're a god for the rest of your life. You'll never buy a drink again. You'll never work again. You could just sign autographs for a living the rest of your life if that's what you want to do. And I think that's lost on people because they haven't done it for so long. And there's always the struggle and always the, the coming up short aspect of it. And when guys play there, especially when they're a high talent and a high paid player, I just feel they're just like, screw this, man. I can go down to Nashville and, live that lifestyle, get paid even more. Like, even if it's the same contract, you're getting less in taxes and way of living. And it's just too appealing to some guys. And like, who wants to deal with that scrutiny? And like the city's its own worst enemy. And like you say, you try to keep guys on your roster that you bring in, and it doesn't seem to really work. And I think the market scares guys away. I think the media scares guys away because who wants to just add that voluntarily on their own plate? They make it very difficult. And, if you add in, if you sprinkle in the factor that you think this core isn't good enough to get it done, the mentality's not good, there's too many individuals, then it becomes an easy decision to guys. But I mean, once you get the right team together, I mean, they've been trying forever, but if you go on a tear, you win, like even conference finals, they're still talking about the last time they did that in the 90s, the glory team who didn't even win anything, there you go.
We beat them.
There you go.
I was on the Buffalo team. We kicked their ass. Well,
that's their legendary team as of now. So, I mean, you actually put together
your boobs. We dominated them. We absolutely pounded them.
So there you go, Warren. Your claim to fame. I like it, man.
He's got a few of them, but yeah, that one comes out of the woodwork every once in a while. So, I mean, you're in Olds. That's we're almost Red Deer, Central Alberta. I know you're watching the Leafs and you're talking about them every day, but you're a hockey fan. You'll be keeping an eye. What do you make of the two teams here? I guess we'll start in Edmonton and then we'll go to Calgary because, of course, they're playing Toronto tomorrow night.
Yeah, wild, man. I mean, my group chat has got a split. It's just a split down the middle of Flames fans, Oilers fans, and I'm just in the middle of it just laughing because it's an absolute nightmare right now. I mean, especially in Edmonton, just because the expectations were bigger and higher. And I don't know why they were. I mean, I see a lot of parallels with Toronto in that Edmonton team, especially in the offseason. It's like, okay, you got some premier talent up front, scoring ability, a lot of flash. But what are you going to do about your defense? What are you going to do about your goaltenders? Yet they're ranked to come out of the West right off the bat. And I'm just sitting there going, how? Like, they've proven consistently that they have too many holes in their game, and they're the holes that you absolutely need to win a Stanley Cup. So I was kind of flabbergasted at how highly touted they were. But I mean, only the Oilers can fall that hard and just historically be that bad. I mean, they're looking at the San Jose Sharks here coming up, and it's like, you're biting your nails if they can get that done. And if they don't, I mean, I think stuff's going to start blowing up around Edmonton. But I mean, Connor McDavid's only going to get you so far. Like, it's almost laughable. And you look at all the first rounders they had, or first overalls that you get Connor McDavid, a generational talent. Somehow you pick up Leon Draisaitl to boot. And it's just like every opportunity they have to pull themselves out, they just don't seem to get it done. I mean, everyone's been pulling their hair out of their head for a decade and a half there or more. And it's tough to put your finger on it. If there was an answer to it, they'd fix it right away, but they just keep floundering, man. It's honestly like tough to watch.
And McDavid isn't 100% right now. He's dealing with something. And on one hand, you give credit to the guy for how many minutes that he plays and he has not been injured. He's kind of avoided injury a lot over the last few years, but it also shows how perilous it can be when you are kind of all your eggs in that basket, because Leon is a superstar and puts up great numbers, but I always just wonder, can he do it by himself? And if Connor isn't right, I don't know. God, they're so friggin' good. You see them, McDavid will go pointless or something against Matthews and then come back with 8 points or something stupid the next night. I just doubt them at your own peril. Is what I just don't want to eat a whole shitload of crow in 2 months from now when they lead the Western Conference. People are like, oh, you fucking guys. See, I just don't need to do that. But like Rhett was saying yesterday or the day before, if you just start looking at math with how many points are left on the table, what does it take to get into the playoffs perennially, and who are you playing against? 3-point games. You're getting into territory where just the math of it might be your biggest enemy as opposed to who you're playing against.
Yeah, and I mean, there's certainly time to turn things around and for them to catch fire. They've done it before. But I mean, what's telling to me is, like, look at Connor McDavid's interviews after the game. I mean, That guy looks like he's aged 10 years in the last 2 or 3. He's a young man, and he looks like a haggard, old, beat down, coal mine worker half the time. I'm like, holy shit, does this guy look stressed out? It looks like he's just pulling on his hair out of his head half the time up there. And I'm just going, wow, like, what is the incentive of this guy to stay in Edmonton? How stressed is he all the time? How unhappy is he playing the game lately? It's a tough look, and I just see it all over his face in his interviews. It's rough.
And here we have a team that, a lot of UFAs. Who are they going to trade for? And then a couple losses later, who are we going to trade away? Hanifin staying, get him signed. 2 losses. Hanifin, no, he's out. It's a weird time here. I feel we have talked about it for a long time. It just feels like if you want to do things, you have an opportunity here with UFAs, get some picks, get some prospects. With how good kids are nowadays, you can turn things around. It doesn't need to be a 5-year ache of a rebuild, but it does seem like that's always that the ownership here has been loath to do anything like that.
Yeah, well, it's tough when you're going to, it seems like a rebuild these days is, 5-6 years, and you're not looking that far down the road. Your shelf life in this league is too short to think that far down the road. Everyone wants to win now and have the success while you're there to enjoy it. So, just you bring in the Huberdeau. I just can't believe what has happened there. It looks like they salvaged the shit sandwich they were handed when they're getting to Chuck leaving and Goudreau leaving. And I can't stand it when people, look at what's going on with the Flames, blame tree living, and say that's why it's not going to work in Toronto. A general manager's job is to put names on paper, right? And at the time, he looked like, he pulled off a miracle by getting the talent back in Calgary after, people are worried you're going to lose it for nothing. And rightfully so. Huberdeau, like, at the time, that's the only thing you can judge him on is what was the decision at the time. Yeah, now you look in 90 games, the guy's done nothing but take a dump in his pants. I get that it looks bad, but that's not on tree living. That's not on him at the time. If you had a chance to get Huberdeau and he expressed that we had a chance to make this deal, but we didn't do it. We didn't think he was the right fit. People would burn the city down because it would be so insane to not take that deal when it was there, and he did. It hasn't worked out. It bothers me when you put it on a GM. It's his job to put names on paper. It's everyone else's job to get them to perform once they're in that locker room. So what if there was an answer for what's going on in Calgary with Huberdeau? You're locked to him for 8-year deal that you signed him up for. Could you even give him away for half of that? Would you want to? It's a bit of a disaster. What direction you go? Are you going to try to hold on and salvage? Are you going to unload and fire sale it and rebuild? It's a tough look, and you guys are cranking it out every single day trying to figure out what to do. There's no easy answer, or they would just go down that road.
We're almost at the point, because I see some of the reaction on social media and even in the chat, it becomes such a broken record that if he just continues to perform at this rate, we almost just have to avoid this, just not talk about it. He's just another player on the squad who performs at a 50-point level, and that's, take what you can get, because to keep saying the coach, or what's it going to take for him to turn around, or who do you play him with, or what, it feels like a fool's errand here pretty quick.
So what's the problem with him? He comes up here. Does he hate being here? Does he not want to be here? They thought it was Daryl Sutter. They get rid of him. That's not the problem. Is he just in like a career monster slump that he can pop out of? He's been a premier talent his entire life, and then he steps foot in Calgary, and all of a sudden he doesn't know how to play hockey. It's like, is there something going on personally? You got to try to get to the bottom of it. And those conversations that you'd actually have with him personally behind closed doors, you'd have to tread lightly, but you'd want to figure out, like, what the hell's going on with you. And I'm interested to know if there is something that we're not seeing that's going on with that guy.
Yeah, it's not ideal for sure when you feel for the human element of it. And then, of course, there's the hockey side where the Flames could desperately use
I just don't
100-point guy.
He's not 115. Everyone, you know what I mean? That was his high water mark. And I just pulled up his stats just for shits and giggles. He had a 92-point season. He had a 115-point season. But really, the next, he's more of a 70-point, 75-point guy max than he is a 90-plus.
Yeah. Well, it's always difficult when you
Yeah.
You grab a guy after a career year, bring him into a way hotter, more difficult market, and expect him to even do better than that. It happens in Toronto all the time. They pick up some guy who just had a career year and expect him to be even better in Toronto. Like, good luck. It's difficult to do that on the best of times. He's down in Florida wearing his flip-flops, hanging out with Barkov, and things are going wicked. A little different story up here to repeat that. And then if he's the type of guy that doesn't handle adversity well, you're just going to plummet like he has. And yeah, like you say, the 115 expectation is probably ridiculous, but I don't think 80 is too much to ask out of the guy. 50 is unacceptable no matter where you're at. But yeah, maybe the expectations were a little bit too high.
Before we let you go, I've always wanted to ask, because we always talk about Philadelphia. I don't know why. I think the city's there's something about that city that just kind of it feels like it's it's maybe the best sports city in America with how passionate they are. Some cities, no one will love their teams more than Philly, and then no one will hate their teams more than Philly hates their teams. Just that wave of emotion. I always wondered to be a tough guy playing for the Flyers, because Philadelphia has always loved their guys that would drop the mitts, and you were one of those guys. What was it like being in Philadelphia and filling that role where you're going to get the fans out of your seats? You have to be a beloved character.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, you show up to the rink and you're riding like the service elevator, and Dave the Hammer Schultz is in there saying, "Hey Rosie, how you doing?" And it's like it's the old boys club around there. They're all around and they're of the same mentality, the blue collar city. I mean, when you go to any of their games, like if you know what their sports setup is, you got Lincoln Financial, the Eagles Stadium, you got the Phillies Stadium right there, and then you got the Flyers and their basketball team. I can't think of their name right now. The Sixers barn. It's all in the same parking lot, and when they're tailgating and that place is full, they are rocking and rolling. And I used to go into Philly. I'd go into the old Spectrum, whether it was in the minors or not. And I mean, I remember just walking down the tunnel and some guy's just hanging over the rail, called me a cocksucker and dumped his whole bag of popcorn on my head. And I'm looking around, going out for warm up, going, where is the security around here? And the guy's just there with his arms crossed laughing. And I'm like, holy, this is a different town, this one. And to be a part of it was unreal. I mean, Paul Holmgren brought me in there, signed me and said, I just feel like you're a Flyer. There's that mentality of the passion and the pride that you have when you've been part of that organization. And that city's just wicked, man. Everything about their people, their sports is awesome. They're not always the greatest to you. I mean, they're passionate, they're nasty sometimes, but it was wicked to be a part of. All, to say you were one of the tough guys for the Flyers is something that you'll always kind of hang your hat on.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. I was going to say, you'll get popcorn dumped on your head whether you're playing for them or against them. That's the beautiful thing about Philly people.
That is true. They want it bad and they don't give a rip. They're not patient people. They're blue collar. They know what they want, and I think that's what makes them cool.
Rosie, thanks for coming on, man. It's way overdue. Love the work you're doing. I'm a fan
You're
of yours.
invited to the Christmas party as well when we have it.
Yes, I'll have to do that. It's about time we crank some beers. We live too close not to. I appreciate you having me on, guys.
Cool, man. See you soon.
You bet. Take care.
There you go. Jay Rosehill, Leafs Morning Take with Nick Alberga, and he and Pinder, a new podcast that they've started up a couple weeks ago. Department of Discipline. You can find it on hockeyfights.com. And of course, you can find it on YouTube. Just kind of get in through the Nation Network. He is a good guy. And I know the Christmas party, our drinking show, he and Nick were pretty jealous. We had that clip that they were drinking during the show. We got to do this. What the hell's going on? Well, we do need to plan for that. I would love for you to be here this year.
Things. What are you talking about?
I know. Stuff on my mic. It would be because it's coming soon, dude. It's already the 9th of November.
Yeah, Christmas is going to be upon us.
It will be upon us before you know it. One other thing, got some things to bring your way. We got Ask Rhett coming up in a couple of moments. Now, you're not feeling well. You're kind of down a little bit. Are you going to be all right?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Yeah, all right. Got the Pinder Report without Pinder. Jack put some stuff together for us today, being the sweet boy that he is. The Barn Burner Vacation. We had the check-in yesterday. Spots are going January 11 to 13th. Limited. There's limited spots here. Limited flights, the whole thing. It's I don't know what the number is. Oh, excuse me. I don't know what the number is. But don't because it'll be upon us before you know it. presented by Alberta Blue Cross, January 11th to 13th. We are off to Phoenix, Arizona. We are going to see the Flames and the Coyotes at the Mullet Arena. We got your flights, your hotels, transportation to and from the airport, and of course, game tickets at Mullet Arena. It is a presentation of Alberta Blue Cross. There's only one thing better than sharing memories, and that is making new ones. Alberta Blue Cross travel insurance protects your memories and more wherever travel takes you. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel for more information. Alberta Blue Cross, celebrating life's memorable moments inspired by hockey. And worth mentioning, where you can purchase these spots on the trip, the packages, nationgear.ca. Nationgear.ca. That's how that works. And you'll find some merch. I saw some people, hey, we see the hoodies and stuff. Where do we get that? There's going to be more coming. It takes time. It's a process. And they're getting more stuff.
The Shoveler thinks she's got things dialed in, but I'm like,
yeah, what's happening?
She might be an idea person too.
Really? Yeah.
She did show me some design crap.
Yeah.
Actually, it was quite cool, but it seems to have hit a stall.
Is that it? Yeah. Okay. Maybe. Well, did she send it to anyone on
no
here or?
Not
okay.
I know of exactly. Like that's kind of.
So she's done some design work and then. Yeah, for sure. Then let's maybe do something a little different there. I want to. I don't know. Do you toast Crown Royal? You don't really toast Crown Royal, but I do want to give a little bit of some kudos, or as was it Cootie Hardos, as Pinder would say, to our buddy Travis Rhodes and everybody over at the Hearing Loss Clinic. They're not ones to go pumping their chest, be all pumped, but I came across the other day. Congrats to the Hearing Loss Clinic. Chamber of Commerce Professional Services Excellence Award winner 2023. They've done it again. You heard it in the read. They were 2022. They're just the best at what they do again. 2023 Chamber of Commerce. They are the very professional services excellence. That means they're the professionals and they treat you the right way. It's the service that they give you is second to none. Hearingloss.ca is the website. And I saw on one of their, so I think it was on their Instagram account. They had, because I talk about it in the read and that, about how there's serious health risks that have been linked to untreated hearing loss. And they kind of go into detail there as to why that is and how that works and how important it is for you to go and get your hearing checked. You may think that you need a hearing assessment. You may not have thought about it whatsoever, but it is time to make that a part of your routine in terms of taking care of self-care and taking care of yourself. Hearingloss.ca, 5 locations in BC, 4 in Calgary, soon to be 5 in Calgary. There are no more excuses. Helping you hear better is simply their way of helping you live better. Hearing Loss Clinic, hearingloss.ca.
I need a chair. This thing is a piece of.
Well, aren't you? Isn't that a wooden chair?
Oh, it is awful. This was left here from the people we're renting, and I just kind of grabbed it and brought it up here. Every day I get crippled. I tried to lean back to make it comfortable. It's awful.
Well, I worry about, because it was the other thing too. When you're too comfortable, it's not good either. Because we can lose you when you're too comfortable. You kind of
that was the old days. Early mornings. I can actually remember sleeping some mornings.
Yeah, there's maybe photos. There's maybe photos of you in your, what was it, the ptarmigan sweater or whatever, with your slippers on, feet up on the counter, just purring away. It's tough. People think this is easy. It's not.
It's not easy.
It's not easy at all. McLeod Law. Do we still have that? I feel like Shane doesn't get enough love. We had that nice little thing of Shane there last week. I feel bad. Feel bad for Shane, because Shane's a big part of what they're doing over at McLeod.
Shane, you're not second fiddle, buddy.
Shane, we're number 1 in our hearts after Peter Klein. I mean, I think it's like Peter Klein. Austin's pretty good too, though. Top 3.
Oh, for sure. Only problem with Austin is he reminds me of Zarnik, Austin Zarnik, and he's
it's because his name is Austin.
Yeah,
Right.
they have
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same name.
Got it. Yeah. They're good people. That's all you need to know. Wherever they are in whatever your rankings are, top to bottom, you're getting the very best at what they do and very good people. With personal injury, just know that you're not alone. You've got the injury to deal with, you've got the legal side, you've got your workplace, you've got benefits that aren't being paid, you've got bills stacking up. Get McLeod Law on your team. Get them on your side. Let them go to work for you. You won't regret it. Their personal injury lawyers bring extensive experience. They understand the needs. They let you focus on your recovery, and they take care of the rest. McLeod-law.com is the website. For those that are just listening, Warner, he's kind of been in and out of the feed. He disappears, then he reappears. So now you've got your old wooden, it's a kitchen table chair, like an old wooden with, I don't know what you would call it. It's like the wooden back.
This is way better.
It's what you would see at your grandmama's house.
Look.
And now you've got.
Shush. My kids have those little beanbaggy chairs here.
Yeah, yeah.
I put one on the chair. Phenomenal.
Really, eh?
I'm a new man. We could do this all day now.
No, we couldn't.
Yeah,
No.
you're probably right.
No, there's no way.
Oh, I'm stuck though. Hang on.
Okay.
Okay. We're good.
Well, I can see why this show is so popular.
I need a drink.
Yeah, you do.
Someone poured me a drink. I might just sit here the rest of the day.
You're something else. Okay, so this day in NHL history, and it's we did the injury report the other day. It's another this
You
day.
never
in
have
history.
me in any of these highlights. Like I've
I don't
done
know-
stuff in my life, you know.
I don't know that there's many highlights.
F you. Come on.
I mean, the thing I know
Do
there's
some
highlights,
research.
but it's being able to kind of
Probably
tie
I
them.
scored on this day in history. I'm gonna check.
Okay,
Only 100 points to go through. So
only 100 points to go through,
should be able to find it.
and then reconcile them to this date. I'll go ahead while you're looking. It was on this date, November 9th, 1971. The NHL made a big announcement. 1971, they said, you know what? We're putting a team in Atlanta. They're going to be called the Flames. They will begin play in the 72-73 season. So in a circuitous type of a route and way, the Calgary Flames, born on this date, 1971. Did not go great in Atlanta. They then moved to Calgary, you may have heard. Kept the team name Flames because there was the oil tie-in and all of that. And that was in 1980. 8 years in Atlanta before relocating to Calgary. It's a big day. What are you going to... Would we be doing this if the Flames weren't in Calgary? I kind of don't think so. God, what would I be doing? Have to be something exciting, you would think, right? Instead of this, sitting in my house, talking to myself now because Warner's chair isn't comfortable enough.
Oh, it's good now.
Yeah. And also on this date, Craig McTavish scored the final goal in NHL history by a player not wearing a helmet.
Still remember playing against him the first time. It was weird. Battling him in the corner in St. Louis.
1996 on this date, he scored. I mean, it is weird to think, right? That feels like that's, and maybe it is, that's real old man stuff. But yeah, you played against the guy who wasn't wearing a helmet in the National Hockey League.
No helmet.
What? God almighty.
Big puffy hair.
Yeah, he had good hair. He was a pretty good player for what he was. Got himself into a little bit of trouble. Then won at least one Stanley Cup, I think, with the Oilers. It was one for sure in Edmonton. I'm not sure.
One with the Rangers.
He'd been on the 90 Cup team. Yeah, 94 with the Rangers. Should have been a penalty on that last face-off. If you ever want to go back and see that. Or that was the one, right?
I don't know.
Wasn't he taking the face-off deep in their end with just a few ticks left when they win the cup? I think it was a...
If you go back and watch mid-90s games or early night, every play is a penalty.
Yeah.
It's atrocious.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like you could literally jump on a guy's back. No problem.
Yeah.
Battle through it.
grandfathered into the league, mandatory. Where is it here? McTavish was the last player left in the league who was grandfathered into not wearing a helmet when they became mandatory at the start of the 79-80 season for all incoming players.
Oh, for new guys.
Yeah. So if you didn't wear one, how many guys are left not wearing a visor? Because that's a grandfathered thing too, right? Lucic doesn't.
There's not many.
Jamie Benn doesn't, I don't think. Does Reeves? Ryan Reeves doesn't wear one. Because that'll be a thing someday. So you didn't wear a visor. You wore a visor.
Yeah, after Stevie Y cheap shot me, almost lost my eye.
How did that go?
He stuck me.
Yeah. Totally on purpose.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weird that the 2 games they won in that series, I didn't play.
I know. Was that on this date?
No, it was a little later in the year.
Yeah. McLeod Law, proud of their Calgary roots, big part of their long-standing client relationships. They understand our city, the people in it, and the way things work. Like the communities they serve, the McLeod Law team is varied and diverse and share a commitment to making a positive impact on Calgary. And Shane is one of those guys. Even though we don't have his little face up there in the screen this time, Shane cares. That's all you need to know. Hashtag Shane cares. McLeod-law.com is their website. We'll do the were we going to hear from Pinder today? He said he was going to check in. I didn't text him or anything. I don't really.
Watching him prance around and high kick is.
Yeah. My only hope would be
an injury
or just such mental fatigue. Day 2 of a Disney trip with your kids.
A meltdown.
Go. That he would be like, get me the hell out of here. Then I'd be very happy with that. I will see.
You're a good friend.
That's what I keep saying. I tell everybody that. No one's too convinced. It is the Pinder Report, a presentation of Village Honda. From now until November 30th, Village Honda is holding their Veterans Food Drive. Village invites you to stop by the dealership. They have a Honda Ridgeline stuck right in the middle of the showroom there. They're going to fill that thing with food donations and then deliver it to the Veterans Food Bank of Calgary at the end of the month. They would love your support. If you can do it, stop by the dealership and help fill up that Ridge line from now till the end of the month. Located in the Northwest Auto Mall, online at villagehonda.com. It is the Pinder Report. Yesterday, we had we talked about it with Rosehill. I get it if you're tired of hearing about Jonathan Huberdeau, because we're now into year 2 of what's wrong, what's going on, why isn't it working, all of this. And I think we are very close if things just continue, that you just have to stop.
His points aren't what everyone says they were.
Well, see, and I think I need to kind of go and look back.
Well, you think he's a 90-point guy. He's not a 90-point guy. He's a 70-point guy. 75. He had 2 big years. 115. It was 23 more assists that year than his other previous high. 23. Like, that's.
Yeah, I mean.
He's not a high point guy. You're drunk if everyone. And I never realized it either. I kind of a little bit. But looking again, when talking with Rosehill, I don't know what the hell we're expecting. We were sold a bill of goods. It's bullshit.
Okay. So if you're like Rhett and you're tired of hearing about it, we're very much treading closer and closer by the day. He was benched, as we all know, I think by now, a couple nights ago in the 3rd period in their win against Nashville. They have the Leafs coming up. It's a road trip. They'll leave today. They'll get there. What's he going to? We talked with McLennan yesterday. I would expect he's going to play. He's going to play a lot. Get back in. Redeem yourself against the Leafs. But there was the visual of him on the bench. Obviously, he was upset about it. It's embarrassing. The league's going to start noticing, if they aren't already, and have fun in Toronto answering more questions. But anyway, yesterday, after practice, Jonathan Huberdeau met with the local media to discuss the benching the night previous.
I think you move on from there. We got me and Huss talk it out, and I think there's no pointing fingers. You got to look in the mirror, and I got to be a better player. And you know, I know I got it in me. I still believe. I still believe in myself. So that's what I just gotta show it on the ice.
Where does the solution come from? Where does the solution come from?
I mean, if I found the solution, I probably wouldn't be sitting on the bench last night.
People don't want to hear it, right? It's a hockey podcast. It's a Flames, whatever. We talk about that. I feel for that guy.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't look real happy or comfortable or.
To hear him say, I believe in myself, I believe it. You look in his eyes, there's no belief there right now. It sounds terrible to say. I'm just saying from a mental health standpoint, I feel for that guy. And I've said it before, and people, you can make all the money in the world, but that guy is confused and he's
rattled,
completely rattled and frustrated and upset about it. And for him, he knew that was coming. I'm going to have to stand in front of these people and answer these questions and say the right things. His chest was probably tight as a snare drum trying to talk to those people. And I get some people don't give a shit. They just want wins and play better and that sort of thing. But
it's a couple things. You can't answer the questions anyway because you know what the questions are going to be, and you don't. It's what he said. If I had the answers, why wouldn't I just do it? Like,
it's work hard work, stay positive, just
believe. Confidence. How do you play with confidence if you don't have confidence?
Yeah. Anyway, so he said he talked it with Husk, which you knew he was going to. Ryan Husk is not going to continue to drill this guy. How do you respond? I don't know. I think I know.
The fluky one. A couple dump ins to go in the net or something.
Well, I think he had that one. And it got disallowed. It's like, I can't.
Well, didn't he hit the post on an empty net?
Hit the post, and then Mangiapane put it in. Yeah, it's if you were to put together a highlight reel of the shortcomings of Huberdeau over the last year and change here, you'd be putting it together for a while because there's been near misses and frustrating plays. And anyway, I mean, like I say, it is what it is. He'll get an opportunity tomorrow in Toronto. We mentioned earlier that there has been a summon from the American Hockey League. Dustin Wolf has been called up to the team. They have also made the Wranglers have called up a goaltender. So at least the initial belief is this is just, it's to have an extra body around. You're going on a 5-day road trip, 3 games, 5 days, back-to-backs. If something happens, you want to have a goalie there. Now, you always want to have a goalie there, but the thought is maybe Markstrom didn't practice yesterday. Now, is that just you don't need to practice? But there you see Elliott. Believe this is more for injury protection purposes than trade.
Boo!
Yes, there. But if I was maybe going to make a trade, that's what I would tell people too. I would say it's just, hey, we maybe guys, it's November. It's a tough time of year. Guys are dinged up. I don't know. I would love to see the guy here. You know, he wants to be here. Sure feels like he deserves to be here. I don't know what goalie trade.
Play the kids. Play the kids. Damn it.
Kids. Play him. More from Elliot Friedman. He had his 32 Thoughts blog drop late last night, as it does. This was point 15. Kind of suspect the Sharks called Calgary about Noah Hanifin. Don't see that as a fit. Another team I wonder about is Arizona. Coyotes have the second best goal differential in the Central and a desire to push for the playoffs. As this situation plays out, I'm curious to see if an extension becomes part of the conversation. It benefits Hanifin and benefits the Flames in any return. That being essentially the sign and trade, which you saw in the Tkachuk deal, signed for the 8 years as opposed to 7. If you did say you trade for him, you can only do 7. And it's more money for the player. You would think he gets more return, kind of as he said.
Not
there.
if you trade him early, right? Isn't there a cutoff?
I'm not quite sure how that works.
Anyway.
But I think it's the final year. If you trade for him, you can't give him 8. You can only give him 8 if it was an existing contract. Where's Pike when they need a Pike bomb? Anyway, he mentions the Sharks right off the start. Yeah, I don't see any reason why the Sharks would be a fit.
Or
Seems
why
like they're
Noah
very
Hanifin
happy.
would want to go there.
Well, sure. If you want to live somewhere that's warm and
extremely high taxes and
Yeah, monster taxes and no winning
Yeah,
for the next little bit.
nice. win.
Arizona's interesting. They've had plenty of draft picks. They have prospects. I would probably be okay with an Arizona
Hang the
deal.
hat there. Yeah.
Yeah, and if like I see it already, Dylan Guenther he'd be all right. Get Dylan Guenther and a draft pick, bring him in. And then it goes on from there. What about the big cat, Nikita Zadorov? What about Chris Tanev? I said it yesterday. If there is a deal to be made for Chris Tanev, and if they are in this, don't call it a rebuild if you don't want to. You're getting assets for expiring contracts that you don't want to
Don't
extend.
need him back.
You may want to keep Hanifin, maybe, right? Maybe. You're not bringing back Chris Tanev.
I
Great
think
guy, battler, warrior, but you're not. Get something for him.
Tanev has done everything you wanted, and he's been a good soldier, and it's time to move on. You don't
It's like
need him.
leasing a very responsible vehicle.
Yeah.
Treated me great, never left me stranded on the side of the road. Nothing flashy, but it was reliable, dependable. I signed a 4-year lease. The 4 years is up.
Happy with it.
Here's the keys. That was a hell of a truck right there. Thank you. I'm going to get something newer now. So we'll see what happens there. NHL last night, there were 3 games. Toronto lost to Ottawa. It was a 3-3 game, I believe it was. I think Robertson tied the game, and then bang, 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 3 goals by the Ottawa Senators. They beat the Leafs. And I know it's been a lot of guys talking about the Leafs, but this is what Sheldon Keefe had to say post-game.
We celebrate guys who score big numbers and score a ton and all that kind of stuff. We don't talk enough about what we give up. That's the reality. We got to prioritize keeping the puck out of our net.
Defense first, Dean.
There are 2 things at play. There is today's player who love to freewheel and score goals and get points and be on highlights and all, right? TikTok. And then there is the other side where that's great, but if we want to win, we have to play a certain way. And that is not giving up 4 goals a night, which the Leafs have done pretty much on the regular here over the last couple weeks. You and Sarich, you and the old guard, you need to start talking to today's player. Say, get your points, but fellas, let's come back a little bit. Because I know as a kid, we all dreamt of maybe someday winning the Selke. When I grow up, I want to be a 2-way forward.
How long's the rink? A 200-foot player?
I don't know how many goals I'll get, but man, I'm gonna be such a good penalty killer.
I'll block every shot.
Okay, guys, last minute of play, Stanley Cup. We're down a man. You guys start with the puck. I'm gonna block some shots. I'm gonna be so defensive right now. This is gonna be so great. So for the Leafs, I believe that's because they were down against Tampa and then roared back and got the win. Then they lost to Buffalo. Then they lost to Ottawa. It's the Leafs and Flames coming up. The final in that game was 6-3. Sam Reinhart with the overtime winner, former
Playing
Sabre.
well.
He has been playing great. He's got 9 goals now, I think, on the year. 30-goal guy, going to be a UFA at the end of the year. Pick him up.
That's what you want to do, Lindholm. That's what you want to do.
That's what you should be doing. 4-3. Panthers beat the Caps in OT. And the LA Kings, 4-1 over the Vegas Golden Knights.
Sending a message.
This because I think I said yesterday they had played earlier and it went to overtime and Vegas got them. And last night, obviously, regulation, 4-1 win. They looked good. And that is their 7th road win to start the year. Not too shabby, pal. You can see there on the graphic. Nashville started their year with 8 straight wins a couple years ago. 09-10 Devils did it 9 times. And the 06-07 Buffalo Sabres started the year and didn't lose a road game in 10 to get things going. Kings are good, man. I wonder about their goaltending. What, Corpusalo and Talbot, I believe, is the tandem there. Doesn't feel strong enough, but I spent a lot of time here blathering at you about Vegas's goaltending. Listen,
Yeah, we did.
You're not going to win a cup with Aiden Hill. Like, well, let's not fool ourselves. Whoopsie daisy. Never mind. Last night, Jordan Eberle of the Seattle Kraken suffered a skate cut, which is interesting. I don't know what you call it. It's unfortunate timing anytime, but of course you had the tragedy that happened a couple weeks ago. There's a lot of focus right now on wearing neck guards and just how dangerous the game is. And I guess they said it wasn't gushing blood, but it was deep enough that there was real concern in practice. They've
And then we had
made
the kid in Calgary too, didn't we? The Poirier.
yeah, I don't know. On one hand, it's guys are athletes, do whatever you want to do. If you want to wear protective stuff, but I don't know. Is it that much of a discomfort? Does it affect your game that much to wear a turtleneck or something underneath your gear?
I think some of that new stuff is pretty good at.
Don't you think? Right?
Yeah.
The technology now would not be like in the old days where you're wearing this friggin'
it's
choker.
not thick. It's just
Yeah.
Well.
And some guys you'll see they wear even kind of wrist protection and that. Some guys are all in on it. They won't have a problem with it, but it feels like that's kind of a thing that we're going to be talking about here. So hopefully Eberle, he's a Calgary guy. Former
Auburn Bay.
He is Auburn Bay.
Prentice.
Parents are in, at least they were. Mom and dad were in Vegas, Chaparral. And he's like, I want to be close, but not too close to Mama. We'll go Auburn Bay. Find a place in the water, kid. Okay. Don't want to live in Edmonton? No. No thanks. But you play for the Oilers. Yeah, I know. Fuck that.
You heard what Rosehill said about McDavid. And
That's
he's right. He does look stressed. Get down south, kid. Get some sun.
Yeah, that's right. What the hell's going on with my...
Why are you on your phone?
Well, I'm
trying to do a show here.
Yeah, I know. I am aware of that. I'm getting there's tonight's sked of games.
Oh.
I know that we have the graphic coming up, but my eyeballs don't work like they should, so I probably wouldn't be able to read it. But there you see it. We've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 9 games or 11. Let's say 11.
Upon
Bruins,
further review.
Yeah, the Bruins are at home. Bruins are 10-1-1 retro.
Are they?
Last year they had an unreal run. Well, they're not going to do that again. No Patrice Bergeron, not going to do that again.
Done. Losing guys.
Yeah, pretty good. They're at home to the Islanders. Les Habs.
Do they have 2 really good goaltenders?
The Sway Dog. And who is their other guy?
Allmark?
Yeah, they got 2 good goalies.
Oh.
Again, it's not hard to get good goalies.
No. You just do it.
Every team's got them. Don't know what the problem is. Habs are in Detroit. Detroit to play the Red Wings, Wild, and Rangers. The Canucks, 9-2-1. They're in Ottawa.
That's not
play
bad.
The Senators. It's okay. Yeah. Chris Tanev. You know he likes it there. He and Quinn Hughes have a little thing. I'm sure they would work. Just bring him home. Bring him home. Senators will be the... okay, so it's not the next opponent for the Flames. It'll be the...
No word for it.
Tampa Bay against the Lightning, the Stars, and Johnny Gaudreau and the Jackets, the Yotes and Blues.
Did they trot him out to talk to the media?
Oh, Johnny?
Yeah.
Joel JG? I don't know. Do they have media?
2.
All right, guys. The media wants to talk to you. The media's assembled outside the locker room. I'm guessing this is some of the stuff they're going to ask you, John, just so you're ready.
Oh, who's the announcer there?
Ron Rimmer?
Josh Rimmer.
Josh Rimmer? Is it Josh or Ron?
It's not Ron. There's no Ron Rimmer.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He was in Florida when I was there.
All right. Predators.
Or maybe Josh is the kid.
Josh is the kid. Because I thought It's not Ron?
No.
Because who's the Rimmer that's retiring this year?
Well, we're going to find out. This
All
is
right.
terrible.
Predators at Winnipeg, Kraken against the Avalanche. Did you see the numbers for our buddy Cale Makar? He just continues to put up the points. You know what? You may have heard of Bobby Orr. Yeah, I'm
Jeff.
better than him. Jeff Rimmer. Penguins, Kings. So the Kings go back to back against the Penguinos. Oilers and Sharks retro. Doggy. Oilers and Sharks. Sharks feeling good after their first win, improving to 1-10-1 in the year. The Oilers
Stressed out.
They are stressed. I saw Pierre Lebrun of TSN. He was on there yesterday. He's like, this team is a fragile team. This team, they'll be in a hockey game and they allow one goal and you just see their shoulders, they just fall and they're just crushed. And I said, yes, you're goddamn right. And I love it. A little photo for you here. And you know, there's a tie-in to one of your buddies. Do you know Dan Price? Dan Price was the head coach of the Victoria Royals. He was hired in 2017. He has been released by the Victoria Royals. He had replaced Dave Lowry, who went to be with the LA Kings. So they let Dan Price go. They played last night. Take a look at this photo here. A former Calgary Flame first rounder, kind of the interim coach. He's their assistant. Special shout out to assistant coach Morgan Klimchuk for earning his first WHL win as bench boss in last night's victory over Red Deer. James Patrick will make his debut as the Royals head coach on Friday against Seattle. So a couple things there. Morgan Klimchuk, he's been the assistant there. He now officially has a coaching win in the Western League. And your buddy Jeep was with the Winnipeg Ice. They buggered off. Now he's going to be in Victoria.
It's way better than being in Winnipeg, even though he's from there.
He's from there, yeah.
Here's a question for you. Who are the defensemen on the 1987 Canada Cup victory team?
Is one of them James Patrick?
I believe James Patrick was one of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
there he is. There he is.
They don't need to close it.
It's loud. I hope I can hear you. I'm sorry. We're at Spider-Man web something or other.
Yeah. How's it going?
It's going. We did the incredible coaster, the Incredio coaster, the Incredicoaster.
Yes.
Woo! Upside down. First upside down roller coaster, boys. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
That's about right. Yeah.
Still twins. Not your first? You did Callaway Park because that was your first? And Stampede. Okay, he's been upside down before. My bad.
Yeah, there you go.
We're having fun. We're at California Adventure this side. I think there's booze on this side, so we might find that out sooner or later.
There is.
And happy birthday to this lady in the back.
Happy birthday, the big 5-0 for Jody Tilly.
For the 32nd time or something like that. That's my math. I don't know.
Awesome. So what have you done for her? How are you celebrating?
Well, we're at the happiest place in the world with two of her three favorite people.
Right. Got it.
So yeah, and then we'll be back to LA tonight, and her favorite place is Manhattan Beach. So we're gonna go hang out and have a nice dinner and sit on the beach tomorrow.
Nice. Did you go on the cars? Did you go on the cars ride?
Not yet. That's we're looking at it. That's you got to pay to play one, and we got to do it because the line to not pay is like over an hour already. So
yeah, the cars ride is good. What's the other one? The Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. We got the Lightning Lane. We're there, and as soon as we're done Spider-Man, we go right there.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Kids are gonna freak.
Oh, I love it. Good. Yeah, this side's a little more adult and teen friendly than the old 1930s Jungle Cruise we had yesterday.
Yeah, the other side does. The teacups are not what they used to be.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Anyway, we're having a blast. It's hot, and Daddy's ready for a beer. What time is it? It's got to be cocktail hour in Cairo or something like that.
Yeah, in California, it's just about 10:30 a.m. So, yes.
Yeah. Damn it.
Before we let you go, some instant reaction. The Calgary Flames called up Dustin Wolf this morning for the road trip.
Yeah, good for him. I like it. I mean, it sounds like Markstrom's a little ailing, but at the same time, who have they called up that they haven't been impressed with at this point? Like and then this guy's got better pedigree than all those guys. He's the reigning MVP of the American League. I'd love to see him this weekend. And you know what? Like, he's earned it. Good for him. He's been patient. Would it have surprised you if Connie said, give me a month? Go kick ass for a month and I'll bring you up? I mean, maybe that isn't it, but we're a month in. Here he is.
There you go. And we had Jay Rosehill on the show. He hates you already. It's only been 3 podcasts. He says he can't handle it.
See, still got it, baby.
Yeah, you still got it. All right, man. Go have a beer, and happy birthday to your lovely there.
Happy birthday to what?
There it is. Yeah, there it is.
See you
Goodbye,
guys.
Pinder. Have fun. There you go. See? You want him to be like disheveled and haggard and running around? No.
He's got too much energy.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Get sidetracked.
I don't know what it is. So there is that. Thursday night football. Ooh,
Big
boy.
matchup, Dean.
Bears, Panthers
Woo.
on Prime.
Is that orange?
Yeah, it's their, what do they, Color Rush? They still call it that? Doesn't look like Color Rush for the other guys, but well, it's the Bears, eh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
It's a friggin' game day. Let's go.
You're so fake.
What are you talking about?
Well, you'd have had it on all day if you're a real fan.
It's on now.
Go, just come over to the team.
I'm
Come,
not going to the freaking Bills.
come on, right there. You know who you want to cheer for.
There you have the betting lines for tonight. The Bears favorites here. Look at the money line, and favored by 3.5 at home against Carolina. So and on the Amazon broadcasts, Al Michaels has been criticized for not being energetic enough, that he's not bringing enough energy to the broadcast. Buckle up for tonight, because I'm not sure Pinder or God himself could get overly excited and enthused for a Bears-Panthers game.
Like,
tonight,
how much dope do you need to get jacked up for this one?
I don't know. So that is the game tonight. There was an interesting clip yesterday. Justin Fields is the quarterback for the Bears. He is oft injured. He's a talented guy, great runner, debatable about his quarterbacking ability at the NFL level, but he hasn't been playing. It has been Tyson Bagent, their quarterback, and I'm not sure he's an NFL quarterback. There's a lot of these guys playing right now that don't feel like they're really NFL guys right now. Anyway, Eberflus, the head coach, was asked yesterday by the media about Fields, among other things. But Matt Eberflus, I guess, is trying to. I'll let you be the judge. It was very interesting.
Like you said, he's not medically cleared to go right now, and he's getting better though. I mean, he's accuracy's improving. He's throwing it better, and he's starting to do more and more and more. So we'll see where it goes. And right now we're listing him as doubtful, and we'll see where it goes from there.
If he's not medically cleared, well, how come doubtful versus out?
Yeah, just to see. We got to give him one more day. But he's working hard, and it's getting better every day. So we'll see where it goes.
He's not playing tomorrow.
Yeah, he's not playing.
What hasn't the medical staff seen? Give him the clearance yet? What is it? What are they telling you?
What's that?
What is the medical staff telling you in terms of why they haven't given him the clearance?
Yeah, it's really just the clearance is just obviously he's got to be cleared to play with the medical staff, and so it's really about him feeling good about it and the medical staff saying that he can go in there and function, and he's just not there at this time.
Is it an issue of grip strength or?
It's everything. It's all improving. The grip strength, the accuracy, the ability to function as a quarterback. It's all right there. It's getting close.
I'm having trouble understanding. He's not playing, but he's doubtful. Is he out or doubtful?
Now he's listed as doubtful.
But you're saying that he's out. He's not going to play.
we'll see where it goes. The chances are doubtful, 51% that he's in or out, and it's going to be. We'll see where it is. We got a little time left, but again, we'll declare him out when he's out. Right now, we're still listing him as doubtful.
But will he go through any sort of pregame work tomorrow?
He may. Yep.
So he's
Put
he's
words
doubtful,
in Matt's mouth. God damn it! He's just trying to be nice to you people.
but he's not playing. No, he's not playing. So why is he doubtful? Well, we're going to see. It's 51% he's going to play or not going to play. So is his grip strength? It's everything. It's the grip strength. It's his feet and his hands and his back, and the hip bone's connected to the backbone. The backbone's connected.
Tight. You gotta work. You can't be sure, but
God, dude didn't know, had no idea what he was talking about. He was just lost.
Matt, don't talk.
Just out in the deep water flailing for dear life. NBA. This is where we hand off to Jack Attack. It's the Jack NBA update. No one does it better. Why would I do it? Why would you do it, Rhett, when we have the best of the best? Jack is on board now with our NBA update.
Where do we want to start here? Positive or negative?
Well, like we just said, Jack's here with the NBA update. So
let's get right into the negative.
All right.
So 2 weeks ago, the 76ers traded James Harden away. I basically came on here and said it was a great trade for the Clippers, and the Sixers got a bunch of scrubs. That has not been the case. Since the trade, the Sixers are 6-0, the best record in the Eastern Conference. Joel Embiid had this to say yesterday after Harden made his debut with the Clippers. Nobody has an ego on this team. Some pretty deep stuff there.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid. Things are not going so well for the Clippers with Harden. They are 0-2. Here's some highlights from James Harden last night. Passes up a open three in the corner and throws it into the TV.
Got tipped.
Is that what it was?
Musta. Because James wouldn't make that toss.
That's oh, look at the chocolate milk taking a ride there.
The old Vico.
Oh, fear the beard. Fear the beard, man. That's unfortunate.
The beard should fake an injury and pack it in.
The beard has made so much money.
Huge money.
God, it's so much money. God. All right.
Anyways, on to the positive. Raptors win 127-116.
Oh,
Pascal Siakam finally got his head out of his ass. 31-12-5. The Raptors improved to 4-4 after beating the Mavericks, who were 6-1 to start the year. They've been looking pretty good. So it's a big win for the Raptors.
Big win.
Big.
Nice.
That's your NBA update.
That's the NBA update.
Times should the delivery truck come by my house and during our show?
Just driving by or stopping and dropping stuff off?
No. He's out there. Like, come on. That's the third time the bastard stopped by. Hell is going on?
Maybe the conversation that you need to have is not with the
is?
mailman. It's with
the shoveler's birthday's coming, and she's buying herself presents.
Well, very thoughtful of you.
Think of.
Babe, just buy yourself something nice.
Get yourself something good.
Thanks, Rhett. Thanks. That is the Pinder Report, a presentation of Village Honda this week. It's the used car clear out, no better time if you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle. Save up to $4,000 plus a $1,000 winter tire credit. Currently, over 100 pre-owned in stock at Village. It's the used car clear out on now till Friday at Village Honda, located in the Northwest Auto Mall and online at villagehonda.com. I'm thinking of going and just picking one up.
Sure.
I don't really need one.
Got lots of money. You love to tinker in cars, dude.
I do. Oh, I can't even tell you what I've been doing. Well, I was on the phone with you the one day last week when I was tinkering away.
I don't even remember.
Yeah. Had the was working away. I do enjoy it. It's fun to tinker.
Oh yeah, you were working on the car, weren't you?
Yeah. Had to do some fluid changes on the vehicle and get underneath and do a little rooting around, you know? You're falling asleep. All right. Time for Ask Rhett.
Somebody else is pissing around outside.
Where do you live?
It's Razor's neighborhood.
Yeah,
Probably
you need some security. Maybe it's like
Jack, you did a great job with the NBA update as well. That was awesome.
Thanks, Rhett.
Attaboy, Jack. Love it. Bonton Meat Market. The original Bonton Meat Market opened its doors in 1921. All they've done since is provide the highest quality product and treat their customers like family. The best AAA Alberta beef, free-range poultry, grain-fed Alberta lamb, milk-fed veal, fresh Alberta pork. Once again, Bonton voted Calgary Consumer Choice Award winner for Best Deli Meat Market. No big deal. 28 Crowfoot Circle Northwest. You go in there and you talk to Greg Keller, of course, and it's literally, oh, hey, Greg. I don't know how he gets work done.
Just listen. You, as great as Greg is, you don't have to have Greg because all the people at Bonton are wonderful.
They really are.
They're a family, and they can all treat you great.
Treats his staff great, treats his customers great. But yeah, it's always, it's like you, so popular. You go out and you try and do different things, get things accomplished, but everybody wants a piece of your time.
Well, you saw Rosehill today. He could hardly talk. He was
he was good, eh?
Yeah.
If he didn't talk about the Leafs,
yeah,
I would take it because I like Alberga. Alberga's very good and he's great. But they talk about the Leafs a lot. I guess it's a Leafs show. Kind of bummer that way.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Anyway, so Bonton Meat Market presents Ask Rhett. Let's see what we got in the old Ask Rhett.
First of all, I got to say, get a meat pie because I had a deconstructed meat pie the other day.
What the hell is that?
Thank you. It's a bowl of mush.
Like on purpose deconstructed meat pie?
Trying to be fancy.
Oh. I've asked you this before. Shepherd's pie or the other one?
Pot pie?
Yeah.
Shepherd's pie. But I think I can do both and at the same sitting.
Okay. So you're not going to make one feel bad.
Today I would have a chicken pot pie.
Chicken pot pie.
But that's one of the shoveler's great annoyances with me is that I can't plan ahead for the meal until the day of
or
a few hours before because what if I don't feel like that?
Mm-hmm. What should we have for dinner? I don't know. It's not dinner time.
Yeah.
How am I going to know what I want to eat?
Tacos is on. No, there's no menu. I don't feel like tacos. We're not making tacos.
Yeah.
Feel like it.
What is there such a thing as a Scotch pie?
There is.
What the hell is that?
Oh no, I'm thinking of a Scotch egg. That's with the meat around the outside of the egg.
Yeah. So the chicken pot pie, obviously, it's a pie.
Haggis is
shell.
A Scotch pie.
Anyway, all right. Questions here for Ask Rhett.
Mark Wilm just texted me.
Did he? I might need his new number. I've sent him a couple messages and it's been crickets. Or he just doesn't.
He hates you.
Could be that too. Because shepherd's pie just has the mashed on top instead of the crust.
Yeah, no puff pastry.
Yeah. Delicious.
Do you have
Hey, Rhett.
There is a Scotch pie.
I was going to say, so what is a Scotch pie?
It's a mince pie. I'm sure it would be, lamb or beef inside of a kind of a pie crusty thing.
You know what I've never understood?
Very similar to chicken pie.
What I've never understood is mincemeat. Because around Christmas,
I think over in Europe they call mince just ground beef.
But you would have mincemeat tarts for dessert.
Yeah, gross.
And it's why would mincemeat? And it's not meat. It's I don't even know what the hell.
It's like a chutney. Chutney's gross.
Ugh. Really?
Don't be eating no chutney. I'll tell you that.
Mincemeat pie.
This is not a question that was sent in. This is not Boomer Ask Rhett.
Well, you know what? It's one of the perks of hosting this thing is I get to ask my own questions.
My chair is falling apart and I'm going to fall off.
I know you are. So fun. And I can't read this shit.
I didn't know
Ingredients.
that half my face was paralyzed either when I smile.
That's probably not a good thing.
No.
No. So mince meat, Granny Smith apples, apple cider, candied red cherries, brown sugar, apricots, cherries, cranberries, carrots, dried figs, orange zest, orange juice, raisins, golden raisins, a quarter cup of schmaltz.
We've discussed raisins.
Allspice, cinnamon. What I'm saying is, it's a little.
And allspice is also disgusting.
It's friggin' confusing. Oh, do you want some mincemeat pie? I don't know. There's no meat in there. We're gonna have some mincemeat tarts for dessert. What? Mincemeat?
You feel free. I'll pour a drink and have that.
Yeah, you go ahead, eat your minced meat. I'm gonna have a whiskey.
Don't be fake. Mince meat, please.
Hey, Rhett, this is from Zach. I'll be in Ottawa, then Montreal to take in the Flames game this coming week. I have two questions. One, is there any must-sees or do's in either city? And number two, is it okay to pregame both games in full Flames garb, letting them know where you're from and cheering for, or may that result in a kerfuffle in either city?
I don't
Thanks
think
from Zach.
Where are you from? You're from out west. You go kerfuffle all you want with those Easterners. Show them who's boss.
Yeah, they don't know how to kerfuffle out there.
They talk down to you, but they won't kerfuffle with you.
So, what did he say? Ottawa? Where was he going? I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
Ottawa, Montreal.
Oh God. I mean, are you going alone? Like, what are you talking about? This is kind of one of those. I'm going to Vegas. What should I do?
Well, Ottawa's the shits, right?
Well, what was that bar I used to go to in Ottawa? The Bear Facts.
Yeah. Okay.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Great insight.
But Montreal.
Yeah, walk St. Catharines and have a hell of a time.
Yeah, have a hell of a time up there. Just have a hell of a time.
Call Lombo while you're there. And Denny Gauthier.
Is Denny out there? What's Denny doing out there?
Denny's kicking ass. His kid's a player, isn't he?
It could be. This one is from Paul. Hey, Retro. My girlfriend just broke her pelvis in 3 places after getting thrown off a horse.
Damn horses.
What's the worst injury you've ever had?
When I fell off when I fell on the curb riding my kid's hoverboard.
Right. Yeah.
God.
So you were on.
They can F you up.
You were on the hoverboard, and then it went out from underneath you. And as you fell down, you took the curb on your short ribs.
I reached out with my bad arm, and my bad arm won't brace very well, and the bad arm gave out, so my head and my ribs took the impact.
Yeah.
Head's okay, but the ribs were son of a
gun. I don't understand how athletes can play with ribs, broken ribs or whatever. Like quarterbacks will have broken ribs. They have to be absolutely like some horse tranquilizer tetanus shot bullshit. Because when I cracked my rib, I couldn't do anything.
No, you don't throw a little A535 on and get out.
I felt a sneeze coming on and I'd break into tears like, oh God, no. How are you NFL quarterback?
Giggles the one day. It was the worst thing in the world.
Oh God. People are asking in the chat, can we ask Rhett questions on here? Yeah, go ahead. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read it though with my eyeballs. All right, so there you go, Paul. That's his worst injury. Broke her pelvis in 3 places after getting thrown off a horse. Now, what do you do? Because you're pretty much effed once you've broken your pelvis, right?
I think you're on your, you immobile.
Like, do you get your torso in a cast, or or are you in traction in a bed? How does that work?
I've not done it, and I don't want to.
I wasn't sure where the question was going, because when I saw, hey, my girlfriend broke her pelvis, I was like, all right, settle down, lover boy. But didn't really go that way.
We lost Dean?
Wow, it's your show now, Rhett.
Huh?
It's your show now.
Can you see questions on the text line? Ask me a question.
Here's one. Would you send your son? Oh, Boomer's back.
Sorry, guys, I hit the wrong button there. I was trying to go back to the emails and I kicked myself out of the thing. Go ahead there, Jack Tech.
Rhett, would you send your son to the WHL or the USHL?
This has been a hot topic. First of all, your kid's got to be good enough to do it. So I don't think I get to send him anywhere.
Well, hey, the world's our oyster. Where are we going, son?
Oh, wow, let's negotiate. You're so good. I feel like it's going to come down to his ability and nothing that I have.
Let's assume that you are talking about a kid that has options.
Both are great products. I do think you have a bit of a longer runway with the American system. Now, the reason for that is you can go play USHL and then college hockey, which for some reason may be unjustified, but for some reason, college hockey is considered way better than the hockey that's played at the CIS. Do they call it CIS or what do they call it now?
It's not CIS, but yeah, Canadian University.
Yeah, the university. Yeah. I forget what they call it now. Anyway, it is looked at as a higher level. So I think you have a little bit of a longer runway to prove yourself. If you're real good, the WHL is great, and let's go Blades. Blades are rolling.
Mm-hmm. There's benefits to both, and there's the other part. What's the schooling, right? If you're
I'm unconcerned with that.
Because not everybody is going to be an NHL player. It's if you are going for schooling, then what are the do you get 1 year of college for every year of I don't know. There's a lot of people who are very anti-Western League. Western League plays more games. There's travel in the U.S. college.
70 as 14-year-olds.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want to go to Prince George or Boston?
Again, I think sometimes your kid decides, not you.
Yeah, sometimes your kid does decide.
And quite often, actually, probably along with most things in life. Well, he's going to be a chiropractor. Well, I'm not going to be a chiropractor. Well, he's going to be a lawyer. Sorry, no, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you get to tell your kid what they're going to do as much as we'd like.
Yeah, my kid right now he's doing a really good job of shaving opportunities off for his future. Every test and report card that comes back, it's like, okay, well, astronaut, doctor, brain surgeon, just we're going down the list. Hey, Rhett, my girlfriend likes to drink coffee in the morning, but not hot coffee.
Oh.
So every night she brews a pot of coffee and then puts it into the fridge to drink it cold the next morning, a la iced coffee. Acceptable, or do I need to run away?
You're out.
Really?
Send a picture. You're going to have to evaluate the pros and cons of this setup that you got going. But on first sight, just hearing your question, I would say you got to leave, man, or kick her out. Cold coffee in the morning. It's minus 40 out. What are you talking about? Come on.
I know there was one person I knew, and where do you go? What happens?
I got a trickle down my nose. I got a runny nose.
You got some problem with your snooter?
Yeah.
You got a leaky snooter?
It's leaking.
It was he used to do the play-by-play for the Oilers on Sportsnet. Kevin Quinn, remember Kevin?
Kevin Quinn, yeah.
Kevin Quinn, overtime winner. That was one of his things, as I recall. He would drink coffee, but he didn't like hot coffee. He'd have cold coffee in the morning.
No, after lunch, cold coffee's fine, but you can't have cold coffee getting into a cold car in Alberta at 7 a.m. going to work.
I feel
you're missing out on one of the finer things in life.
It feels like a seasonal thing to me, because I do like having hot coffee, hot in the wintertime. It's a nice thing, but I get sometimes
you gotta have hot coffee in the morning. Come on.
But if it's smoking hot, sometimes you're not going to want to drink.
Notice how far I've fallen. I got to get up.
Okay, so he's getting up. There's some rustling, some rummaging around. Looks pretty good. There's the beanbag chair on Grandma's antique chair. I feel like are you far enough back into that chair? It feels like you're kind of sitting on the front.
There. This is great now.
Your
Squishes out.
butt cheeks are only getting about half of the
That's
chair
enough.
there.
What's next? Could do this all day.
Yeah, I know you could. My girlfriend broke her pelvis. Yeah, got that one. Okay, hang on. I don't want to gong it again. Hey, Rhett, this is from Earl.
Hello, Earl.
Earl wants to know, why is that Crown Royal still sealed on your shelf?
That's a collector's. That's the show
Mm-hmm.
crown. I don't drink. I don't drink before I coach, and I don't drink. Well, I do drink when I'm on the show.
Yeah, you do.
I guess I could open it. I don't know if
Well,
we're allowed to, though.
We probably shouldn't, because we appreciate Crown Royal, and Crown Royal is for the generous people out there. It's a special thing, Crown Royal. It's for special times. This doesn't feel like one of those special times, but I'm sure we'll have one. What else has been going on in the chat here? So I go to the US Retro. Is it a soup day? And if so, what kind of soup?
I had a chicken vegetable soup already today, folks. It was wonderful. It's soup season. I'm turning into a old grandma-y type of person where once fall hits, I think soup every day is not a necessity, but it's kind of like a hot cup of coffee in the morning. It is just a wonderful thing to have around. Make a pot of soup, have it in the slow cooker or something. Just stay warm all day. Take a scoop. Does the body good.
Oh God, I remember there was a place in Winnipeg, and I never lived in Winnipeg. Oh, so you lived in Winnipeg? I never lived in Winnipeg. But there was a place, and their lunch, it was a soup buffet. And they had buns and different things that were part of it. Your buns and butter and different kind of, but they'd have about 5 or 6 or 8 different types of soups, some creams, some bisques, some clear brothed soups. Because you know what it's like sometimes. Oh, what do you got for soup? Oh, we've got French onion, and we got chicken noodle, and then we got broccoli cheddar, and we got some. That all sounds so good. So then you go to this place. Oh my God.
It broke. Professional operation over here.
Yeah, it's good. It looks good.
We've talked about it. We should open up a soup and sandwich joint. Along with my chicken vegetable, I had another turkey club triple decker, and damn fine sandwich.
We have had this conversation before, and there's one short, grumpy guy that we both used to work with. He disagrees vehemently, but I have always said that a sandwich is always better when someone else makes it for you. It's the anticipation of the sandwich. You don't know, and then when someone drops that sandwich off, it's great. And Walker always said, no, I don't want anybody making my sandwich. I want to make my own sandwich because then I know how it's being made, and then I'm more excited for it, and it's going to be better.
He's an idiot.
I disagree. I love it. When that shows up, the soup and sandwich, this is going to be so good. That lettuce, it's all crispy. And Rhett, this is from Hot Poop. Rhett, what is thoughts on split pea soup?
It gives you a hot...
Is this a
I love split pea. Split pea and ham.
Is this Dr. Seuss?
The Shovelers.
Hot Poop.
The Shovelers
thoughts on
grandma
split pea
makes
soup.
Split pea soup. And it is phenomenal.
Now, are you starting with ham? Ham bone as your base
the
there?
Old ham bone, yep. Absolutely. Split pea and ham. Love it.
Can't say I'm a fan.
It's great going in.
What's it? We done? We got more questions. Jack, do you have any?
Come on, Jack.
Any soup questions for? I can't. We're not asking. There's no Huberto questions. Rhett, do you have a funny Hasek story?
We beat Toronto in the 99 semifinals, busing home back to Buffalo afterwards. Stop at border security. Stop at the border. Border guard comes on. Huge Sabres fan. The boys are hammed up and shotgun and booze. He comes on, he's high-fiving everyone, and Hasek tackles him and pours beer all over him. Too far.
Oh, was it? So not that big of a fan. Pretty big fan, just not that big of a fan.
Too far.
So what are the repercussions for tackling a border guard?
He was good about it. I'll give him
Yeah.
that, but he was a little bit stressed out and upset.
Oh, that's yeah. See, that doesn't seem like Dom. He had to have been well into it.
He was into it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, those guys. Some of those guys, eh? That's their thing.
Hardest working goal. Well, Kipper was a hell of a worker too.
Yeah, yeah.
Dom was next level hard worker. And crazy.
Okay, the questions are coming in as we speak.
Let's
here.
go. Let's do it. I got nowhere to be.
Okay, this is from. I'm not sure what he's talking about here. Oh, okay, it's that sounds great.
Can you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear that. Still hearing it. There you go. So did it break? Like the base broke off of it, or it's just not?
Yeah, the
tight
base.
enough?
Yeah.
All right.
Tapped out.
This is from Glenn. Chili debate is the title or the subject line of the email.
Yeah, shoot.
What should the ratio be between meat and beans? I say 60-40 meat to beans. Wife says 10-90 meat to beans.
Your wife's nutso.
What the hell?
I would say
That ain't chili.
No, not even close. 60-40 at bare minimum.
That's like serial killer chili with 90% beans.
Is she a vegan?
I don't know. What do you got?
Yeah, you just stick to your 60-40 and don't drop below.
Spencer. Hey, Rhett. How do you think your old team, the Saskatoon Blades, are looking this year?
They look real good.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good.
What's their record?
I forget. I think they got like a couple losses. Like they're top of the table.
Some wins and some losses?
No, they're top of the table, Dean.
Hoop and
This
Diamond?
is their year.
This is really? I had no idea. We got to check in with our buddy Wasey Rabbit.
Yep, they're playing good hockey out there.
I'll say this till the day I die. I saw a random photo on the internet the other day again. Just a game shot, Saskatoon. Their jerseys are phenomenal. They got away from those when you were playing there. They had the skate bridge thing, and they went to the kind of the St. Louis colors with the red in there. I get you. Everyone wants to try and change things, but then when they went back to those, so good.
I've actually been following them.
Huh?
Stats. Let's see.
Beans and chili is not
playing well. Sidorov.
Are you all right with beans though in chili? Because some people don't like big.
I don't like. Listen, I'll eat any kind of bean. I don't love the kidney bean. I can do without the kidney bean in the chili if you want it. Okay, whatever. But I don't want a high ratio kidney bean. Like,
yeah,
too much. So,
well, I showed you when I was making it that day. I think it's Heinz has kind of like a chili bean thing.
Yeah.
And it's got 2 or 3 different kinds of beans, and it's already kind of got a chili flavor to it. It's kind of cheating. And if you're a big chili purist and you got to boil your own friggin' beans or whatever, then go ahead. But I like it because you're not being overwhelmed by one type of bean. Because the kidney beans, you got all those big friggin' red beans in there. It's like enough already, kidney beans. Just slow down.
Yeah.
You
don't need to take over.
Tap the brakes, kidney beans. What about mushrooms?
Again, I like mushrooms. I'm cool with mushrooms, but I'm not picky about it because the mushrooms, you're not tasting the mushroom. It's chili.
Yeah.
It's a texture thing.
I feel chili is one of those things. There's a broad, like there's kind of a, here's where you start. It's meat. If you want to use turkey or whatever, okay, but it's meat and the tomato thing. And from there, do whatever you want. You like beans? You don't want beans? Don't freaking put beans in it. You want corn?
Corn.
Go ahead. Throw corn in there.
Brother Trevor has to have corn in his chili. Loves
Is
corn
that
in
right,
his chili.
Trevor?
Big fan of the corn. Yeah. And
The-
only the baked beans and that, like the Heinz, the
Yeah,
cans of the no kidney beans, none of that bullshit. He wants those
Just
beans
regular-
and the corn.
We get asked this a lot over the years. Pineapple.
I've done it. It's
Yeah?
not a regular thing. I don't do it often, but once in a while I'll switch it up.
Yeah,
I
just
don't dislike it.
Yeah.
It's the same with a
Don't-
pizza. I'm not ordering Hawaiian, but when I have a piece, it's
all
fine.
right.
What am I
You know
gonna
what it
do?
is? My message is don't let people push you around when it comes to your chili. You own your chili. The way you like it is just fine. Don't let the chili police come in there and start bossing you around. All these highfalutin chili people. I'm going to say that's it, Rhett. That's Ask Rhett for Bonton Meat Market. Go in and say hi to Greg Keller. Talk to him. Hey, it's
Ask for
November.
Greg's chili recipe.
Yeah, ask Greg about his chili. Probably some whiskey or something poured in there at some point. I bet you he'd have an awesome chili recipe.
That's an idea. Maybe I'll pour some booze in there somewhere.
Force, yeah. Some of that bourbon. It's kind of got that sweet element to it. Now we're talking. Bonton Meat Market, 28 Crowfoot Circle in the Northwest. BontonMeatMarket.com. Get thinking about it. You need to stock up your deep freeze for the long winter ahead. Get after it. Bonton Meat Market, the best. Little DoorDash for you. Let's do a little what's on the menu with DoorDash. Restaurants, grocery, pharmacies, bakeries, flower shops, and more. Ordering's easy. You get the DoorDash app. Choose what you want from where you want it, and your items will be left safely outside your door. And for the limited time only, our listeners get 25% off and zero delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code NATION25, NATION25. And you get that 25% off. How about it? There you see it. It's Thursday night football. What's on the menu for DoorDash? It's Thursday night football. I think you start there. There's 11 games in the NHL, and if you're a fan of one of those other teams, Flames are off until tomorrow.
I got it. You watch the football, and then it's can't miss Oilers loss versus the Sharks.
That was going to, yeah. I think that's the way to do it. Because that'll be an 8 or 8:30 start. Let me take a look. See, I think it's an 8
you're
o'clock.
out west, you could start with a hockey game, then go football, and then back to the Oilers.
Oh, it's 8:30, Rhett. For this guaranteed loss night for the Oilers, that's 10:30 Eastern. You gonna have that in you?
Boys don't have school tomorrow. I can sleep in.
Nice. Nation 25. Nation 25 is the promo code. That's a limited time only on your first order with DoorDash. Offer valid in Canada only. Subject to change. Terms apply. DoorDash. Dash that for the win. Yeah, I don't know. There's apparently coming up, the primetime football games are hot messes, starting with this one tonight. They have an opportunity to flex some games, and they haven't been flexing them. I think there's some Broncos coming up and Jets. It's just a lot of potentially bad football coming up, but they know we're going to watch it anyway.
Now you're going to tune in, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, what are you not going to watch? What are you going to watch? Cheers or Seinfeld? Like, you're going to watch a football game. That's what's going to happen. So let's take a look at our thing. Let's take a look at our Betway bets for tonight, keeping in mind the DoorDash. So that's your DoorDash, obviously what's on the menu. I'm going to go with the Thursday night football game for Betway. Bet the responsible way with Betway. Get the Betway app on your phone, play along, find the spot, find your sweet spots. I kind of looked, I was kind of running to get these in at the end. It's the Bears, covered last week. They're going to cover again at home. Bajent, just playing just enough, just good enough. I don't think Carolina's very good at all. They got to win. Who cares? Enjoy your one win, you losers. Bears -3.5. Look, the odds are not great, -170. But hey, what other team am I going to go with other than the Bears? Being a Bears guy,
huge Bears honk.
And same game, Chuba Hubbard, Sherwood Park, over 41.5 rushing yards. It was Miles Sanders there to start the year, but then that kind of went sideways. I believe he got injured. And then Chuba Hubbard's kind of been the guy. I think he's going to top 41.5. Take the over. -110 for your Thursday night football game between Carolina and Chicago for my Betway bets of the day.
We played Hubbard in high school, and I think he ran for 500 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Okay, so to give us, who are we, and tell me more.
Like I think it was our spring league. So it was like we were the Colts, and this was grade 11, and he was from Edmonton. So we traveled out there for a game, and they just killed us. Like he was unstoppable.
Yeah, he would be. I've got a lot of
Great.
guys that are NFL running backs were probably decent in high school. Imagine Derrick Henry in high school. If he was playing running back, because he could probably play whatever position he wanted to be so friggin' big, but they can't stop him once he gets moving in the NFL. What's Jack Haverstock gonna do when Derrick Henry's running downhill on him?
Jack had stepped into.
Good luck. Well, that's the show. Got one last read that we'll get in here before we go. So the kids are off school tomorrow. I get the feeling you don't have a lot going on today.
Couple practices.
Yeah. You getting tired of kid hockey yet?
I'm done with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Second week of November.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the time when you start looking at your life and saying, what am I doing?
Yeah. Why? What?
What is happening?
He's going to play WHL. He's probably going to play house league. That's.
I've said it to you before, and it's not that my experience was. It's like, well, we've got to find the skates. Well, what spring hockey's going into? Well, is he going to go to this tournament? Well, what are you doing for the summer? Are you doing the power skating? Well, what about the off ice stuff? Are you doing some dry land training or whatever? Kid hits grade 12, sets the bag in the basement. It's like, yeah, I don't think I'm playing this year.
We had a kid
and
that
then it's
quit
just
this
done.
year. Last week.
Yeah.
Our best forward. I'm
Oh.
done. I'm going to play high school. I was going to hang out with my buddies and play high school.
Yeah, I kind of think maybe play some baseball or volleyball, high school
Okay.
sports. I'm not sure.
You mean you don't want to spend every waking moment worrying about getting better at hockey? What's wrong with you?
What kind of is it using a 1/2 inch on the skate sharpening? What are you using for your kid? Because I think it's the edges. You know, his edges look so good. Yeah, I got a girlfriend, Dad. I don't want to play hockey. No, again, hey, maybe that's why my kid isn't Connor Bedard.
Connor Bedard.
All right. This episode of Barn Burner is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/FlamesNation and get on your way to being your best self. The brain can fool you. Sometimes it feels, you ask, which team are you on? Are you with me or are you against me? And sometimes it feels like that brain is against you. And it can also be against you when you make the decision, I'm going to get some help because I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good with things and I know things can be better. So I want to get some help. You're not going to fool your brain. Oh, you're too busy. You don't have time to do it. Enter BetterHelp. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You'll be able to make this thing work. You're going to have you find that pocket of time. It's designed to be as effective, more effective even, but you're going to be able to fit this in and have it work for you. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge in case the fit isn't a great one. Therapy helps you to identify what your challenges are and then start building strategies and coping skills to become the best version of yourself. You'll be able to see those issues before they happen, as they arrive, and then deal with them accordingly. Make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/FlamesNation today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/FlamesNation. We encourage you to give it a shot. That's, again, 10% off your first month. If you are out there because we are entering that time of year. It gets cold. A lot of things get more challenging and difficult. You get around the holidays, and for a lot of people, the holidays are a great time of year, and it's a reason to celebrate. That's not everybody's story. And then you get into the dog days of January, February. So again, if this sounds like something that might be a good fit for you, then by all means, check it out online, betterhelp.com/FlamesNation to get that 10% off. Tomorrow is a game day for the Calgary Flames. We will have Darren Dreger join us. We'll see if the Flames have made
I might
that
be on my
goalie.
phone.
What are you doing? Where are you going?
I don't know if I got to go to Rochester or St. Catharines.
Is the shoveler going to the other, or what's better? Where would you, if you had your druthers?
Canadian dollar. I'll go north up to
Yeah.
St. Catharines.
St. Catharines. How close is that to the Hammer?
It's between Buffalo and the Hammer. It's
Got it.
right as soon as you cross the border.
Yeah.
St. Catharines.
Gotcha.
You'd love it.
I don't know that I would.
No, it's quite nice.
What about Rochester?
Wine country. What about what?
What about Rochester?
No. Shithole.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's a shitty Buffalo.
Is it closer?
Nope. No. Depending on the border. Don't have
Yeah.
to stop at the border. An hour away. St. Catharines, half hour. 40.
Do you do any duty free? Can you do duty free?
You can do duty free. Yes.
I
There's
like
certain
to
things you
stop
should
at
buy.
the duty-free
Ketchup,
shop.
mayo,
You shouldn't, or you should?
chocolate. Get your chocolate in Canada.
Okay.
All your candies. Sweet and sours.
Yeah.
Gotta get them in Canada.
What about one
That
of these
tastes the
guys?
same.
Yeah.
It tastes the same.
It tastes the same, but it might be is there
I
some
don't know about the
savings there?
cost. I don't know about the cost.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I see Stacy's unhappy. Ugh.
What?
Ugh. So many ads. Love you boys, though. Well, Stacy, I don't know if you've noticed, we don't take commercial breaks. Remember when we were doing the other one, we would talk for a little bit, and then for 8-9 minutes at a time, we wouldn't be talking because there'd be commercials running. And that would happen 2 to 3 times an hour. So
Anyway,
yeah,
everyone's entitled to their opinion. Thanks for listening, Stacy. Dean's a dick.
No, appreciate you. And because I just see it coming up. I just hope people can appreciate that's what this is all. That's what this is all about.
See, she's with you.
Okay, fair.
You want an argument?
It wasn't an argument.
Oh.
It was just kind of, you know what it was? It was just elaborating and explaining why a certain thing is the way it is. Providing further info.
You're deep, really deep, and I'm starting to fall off my chair again. So it's been great.
Go buy a chair?
I'm gonna buy a chair. I got that fancy gaming chair. Maybe I should go get.
Okay. Thanks for being a part of it. We appreciate you. Support the sponsors. That's how this thing goes. Rhett, there's no chicken soup without the sponsors for Rhett. Rhett's not going to the chicken.
You can't make chicken soup out of
chicken salads. Can't do it. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Flames game day in I almost said Detroit. They'll be in Toronto. We'll have Darren Dreger. And
Oilers suck. Bye.
See you, buddies.